I don't think my mic's connected.
Hello and welcome to Donington Park. We are here for the final showdown in the Sport Bike Cup. The man on screen right now, Finley Cottenham, the championship leader all season long. But now, after a destructive second half of the season, comes into the final round. 2 points ahead of this man, Henry McCartney, and this man, Ross Maguire, aka Armag. Jack Hammer joins me for this final round, and we can't wait to see how these three take to battle in the main race. Jack, there's not really a favourite coming into this. We've heard Ross has got his wrist injury, but nonetheless, we're still expecting good things given how Henry was performing with, one hand. And of course, you can't put anything past Finley and Henry, given how good their season's been so far.
My favourite. Well, before I found out how much practice this guy's done, momentum-wise, very clearly would be Henry. He's won the last 2 races, and Finley has had 2 very disastrous races, allowing a 28-point swing in 2 races. Ross, he's sort of just been chipping away silently. Not, he's just someone who you wouldn't expect to be there, and bang, he's just been the most consistent, and he's in the fight, but he has got that wrist injury. But I think he'll be fine. You're only holding a controller for 15 minutes, unless the wrist injury is related to any tissue or anything that's to do with the muscles where you move your fingers. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
In terms of how everything's going to pan out, I don't know. Inferior to Suzuki, I think the Suzuki is a better bike for this track. But the Kawasaki's got to make its time up all in the national layout once you get to the second half of the track. I do think actually the R7's a bike to be on, maybe in the braking zones anyway, but the Suzuki, with that extra DC and twin cylinder, just can pull out a bit better than the Kawasaki. So it's going to be a race of 2 halves and on the side of the track, and whoever has the best racecraft, I reckon, and has the most nerve will be the one who's victorious.
Yeah, exactly that. I have to agree. And a strange thing to note, though, you say the GSX-8R might be stronger, but Finley is the only one out there on the GSX-8R for this one, and a surprising high number. Oh no, sorry, Has Sutton is on the GSX-8R. I think I've done that every round, but a surprising high number for the R7, which hasn't been a favourite. Is contact off?
I think he's just come back out of the pits.
Oh, good shout, good shout. That would have been destructive. But anyway, Henry goes down into McLean's, but he is currently at the top of the session with a 135.488, followed by Ross with a 35.489. So 1 millisecond already splits 2 of the title rivals in qualifying. Let's hope it stays like that, because we're in for an absolute barnstorm here. You may have seen the trailer on my Instagram. We're just so excited for this because we have 3 riders in for the title, and they're currently 1, 2 and 3 in the qualifying session. We've got Charlie out there as a wild card on the Yamaha R7. Alfie Cox is out there on the R7 as well. He'll be someone getting involved, I'm sure. Has Sutton's out there as usual on the GSX-8R, and Harrison also playing teammates at Henry McCartney on the Kawasaki. They are freshly back from Silverstone on Monday after a test for Fab Racing, of course. Those two just getting some track time in on both of their CRF 150s, but this time they're on Kawasaki's and looking to take the title. But down goes Ross there, as we mentioned earlier, playing with effectively one hand. I don't think it's as bad of an injury as Henry, and I think he's still able to play with 2 hands. I remember when I broke my wrist, I was still capable of playing, but it was just harder to properly grip the controller. At least for my right hand, I could only do throttle and gears, so it was a little bit more manageable. But it depends whether it's his left wrist or right wrist. We'll have to try and find that out. But here he is then. Alfie Cox, as you can expect, has now gone to the top of the timesheets with a 35.3. He is the ultimate Marc Marquez in this situation, you feel?
What, in terms of getting a toe?
In terms of 2015, like being the man
Oh,
to get involved
the man
in
who
the
can,
title.
yeah,
Who's
the
not.
man who can get involved. I'd say he could be because I'd say last round was sort of Mogsy. I think it was Mogsy who got involved in the incident with Finley, but I'd say Alfie could be the one that could disturb. I think he's either ideal scenario, he either clears off into the distance. Oh, and there goes Henry down at turn 1 at Redgate. But either Alfie clears off, or he just sits back and forth and let the three of them just fight in front of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, I've had it where I've been in a situation where I'm watching 2 people in front of me and I'm closing in on them, and the fact that I got paranoid about it accidentally interrupting their championship caused me to lose a place. So it's all, you just need to ride like he usually does. Don't overthink it, and everything should go well.
Yeah, and he can effectively take advantage of that, really. But knowing Alfie Cox, he 110% wants to make as much of a difference in this title fight as possible. But what we could see is Alfie pulling away into the lead, and these 3 battling for the title in second place. But quickly, Ross, with a broken wrist, goes to the top of the timesheets on his ZX4R with a 35.285. A brilliant lap from the Scot now, with the championship leader Finlay Cottenham down in 5th, feeling the pressure. We spoke to him after the race at Brands Hatch Indy, and he was he was furious with Mogsy for getting involved, and now Alfie Cox is there to get involved, currently usurping him of a front row, and he is going to be very displeased if that is the deciding factor. He does have the advantage, but it's an advantage that won't matter. It is all about whoever finishes in front. And as they come out, he comes out Redgate, he'll be looking to improve. Currently 3/10 off pole position. So a bit of work to do, but he's currently 2/10 up already in sector 1. But it's crunch time now, isn't it, Jack? At this stage of the session, it is going to be. I think he's going to get one more lap in. No, he won't, because it's ride 6. The timer will count down. So this will be his final qualifying lap. Now you've been in championship fighting situations on multiple occasions with multiple riders. When you're on a qualifying lap like this, and it's sort of going wrong at the going into this lap, how do you keep a cool head?
It's very hard. It's very hard to do that. You're in a situation where you're 5th, so you're basically giving yourself a super pole lap. You've got to qualify on the front row. He's on the Suzuki, so he's going to get a good start. So it's not that important here. But in this perspective, everyone's got to have the same start. It's just so much pressure to try and you got to try and stay calm and just do the most clean lap. But the problem is you're going to maybe not do the perfect lap. So it's all you got to try and make your brain just empty of all negative thoughts. But it's so hard to clear that out. And I noticed Finlay made a mistake on the exit of Goddard last time round, accelerated a bit too early onto the grass. This time he's a lot better, stays away, and what does he do across the line?
Oh, it is second on the grid for Finlay Cottenham. The top 3 in the championship cover the front row. It's a 35.0 from Henry, a 35.2 from Finlay, and a 35.2 as well from Ross. This is going to be juicy here, with only a few moments time until we get racing, with Alfie not too far behind in time either, in 4th place. But wow, you just can't wait for it, can you? And now we go into the final race of the season, with only 2 points separating the top 3, and in turn the top 3 in the championship on the front row. But now 3 riders go into the final round with potential to win the title.
2 points, Henry and Ross tied. Finlay 2 ahead of the pair of them.
Round of dreams for Henry McCartney as he comes across the line to take a sublime victory, well brought up from the man on the Kawasaki ZX4R. Ross now attacking the championship leader, looking to take advantage, heading to the final round at Donington Park. Look at this! Ross on the inside. And oh, Finlay goes back for him at Mansfield. That was aggressive, pushes him back out wide and makes him know why he is the championship leader by a strong margin. In the wet conditions, but his teammate, oh, he's flourishing in them as he shoots up the inside. And we're back. Well, there it is, the trailer to tonight's action. We've had qualifying, we caught the last few minutes of it, and as we saw, the top 3 in the championship split by 2 points, and that top 3 on the front row. Now, Jack, Henry told us that he actually didn't do a lot of practice. He sent a message saying he's going to be doing his first laps half an hour before the beginning of the race. But qualifying on pole position by 0.2 of a second, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
It is, but you know, if the difference is if this is the only game he's played, well, bike racing game he's played, it's not. I don't think it's too much of a shot because this has been previous rounds in other championships on a Kawasaki as well. So naturally he'll have that brain wiring. So I'm not surprised he's got pole by the margin he has, but I mean it's definitely not going to be easy because I'm fully expecting Finley to take the whole shot into Redgate, and then we'll have to wait and see what unfolds.
Yeah, we certainly will. It's going to be an incredible race, hopefully going right to the final corner. John Hopkins and Tommy Hill style, Brad Ray and Tommy Bridewell style. We can't wait. But here we go then. The finale is here. The showdown is about to commence. The decider to decide it all in the Sport Bike Cup. Henry starts off on pole position for one last time. We get racing at Donington Park for 9 laps of the GP layout. And as you predicted, Jack, Finley Cottenham gets off the line in a fantastic way. He takes the lead down into turn 1. Alfie Cox is into second. Henry and Ross have dropped to 4th and 5th even, and has Sutton now into second. But Henry up the inside already has Sutton trying to get through, forcing his ZX4R through on the inside. But here comes Ross through on the both of them. It's all gloves off to start, and already into the grass goes Has Sutton on his GSX-8R. He's going to try and rejoin the track in the safest way possible, but he's going to he's going to rejoin right back in front of the 2 title contenders. The Suzuki man in pink, making life all the easier for the Suzuki man in the lead. This is exactly the start that Finley needed.
It was after the 2 miserable rounds he's had previously. He's got the whole shot and he's already pulled out about half a second over everybody. But Henry now is going to be in the slipstream of Has Sutton here. The Suzuki is faster, but with slipstream the Kawasaki just blast past, going over the crest. Now you've got to be careful into fog. Yes, and has got the better braking there. So the Suzuki is stronger in braking than the Kawasaki. We've seen that, but they have closed a little bit on Finley Cottenham as they go into the Melbourne Loop.
Oh, brilliant move from Henry. Has Sutton isn't able to get the cut back. You feel Has Sutton might have a bit of a penalty. Finley not pulling away as much as you thought he would have due to this chaos. Possibly just feeling some of the pressure, especially now since Henry's right behind with all the speed in his back pocket after that advantage in qualifying. Can Henry McCartney chase down Finley Cottenham? Not just yet, because Has Sutton is doing an absolute dream job to help out his teammate in the title fight. He darts back up the inside at Redgate corner. He runs it slightly wide. Henry Mack finds himself back through on the inside. Contact! Oh goodness me, that was close through Hollywood as they now make their way down through Craner curves. More time being lost to the leader out front. The Makita Monster Energy Kawasaki ZX4R of Henry McCartney is doing his absolute best job to catch up to the Power Slide Suzuki in front of him. But right now, it looks like he is starting to leave Has Sutton in the dust, and Ross seeming to have issues with his wrist. A catastrophic first lap for him, and you could already feel the championship slipping away from the Scot.
Yeah, he must have had a crash that we haven't seen on that first lap to do a 46. He must have crashed somewhere fast. Maybe get involved in all the chaos in the first couple of sectors. But Henry's now seemed to finally got out of the jaws of Has Sutton, and he can just solely focus now on putting Finley under a load of pressure, just like he did at Cadwell Park.
Yeah, let's hope so.
It's just Kawasaki's to be really fast in the fast corners, the Suzuki's to be faster in the stop and go section, so expect the Suzuki to just pull out of here and then into Goddard's.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing now as we make our way into Goddard's, and Finley Cottenham continues to lead this race. His lap on the beginning lap was at 1:39.4. That Henry Mack doing a 40.0 despite all his battling with Has Sutton. That was not too slow for him, but he lost quite a bit of time there due to that drama with Has Sutton on the early stages of the previous lap. So Finley Cottenham now, you feel like he was struggling with the pressure at first, but I think he's got into a bit of a rhythm, and the fact they've started to separate a bit, just as I said, he catches the curb onto the grass. Big time lose for Finley Cottenham as they now come through the old hairpin. Has Sutton's dropped off a little bit as well, but Henry Mack firmly in contention. A bit of bad timing. Commentators curse, I'm sorry Finley. But now it is time for the Kawasaki to attack. Can he find a way through on Finley Cottenham as they make their way up to Coppice? Here he comes, up the inside, into Coppice. He thought better of it. It wasn't quite enough for Henry Mack to go through. But now the gloves are off. It is all about the title fight. And as they go now down to the Foggy S's, can Henry respond with a move on lap 3? Yes, he can. Here he comes up the inside to take the lead of not only the race but the live championship. How does the GS68R respond now?
Well, Finley, it's very clear. He's just gonna. If I was Finley, I'd sit back, close up out of here, and then just get the run out of Goddard's, blast past, and take the lead, heading onto the fourth lap. But Finley, he got through the first 2 laps clean, and usually you can get through that part, your heart rate goes down and you don't make mistakes. But I guess the commentator's curse strikes again. But thankfully, not too bad as Henry's now pushing too hard out of Goddard's onto the grass. And now here comes Finley in the slipstream. That Suzuki's faster than the Kawasaki anyway, but he might not be close enough. But as long as he stays in slipstream range, then that's all he's got to do. Is Henry's now broken himself a little bit into Redgate, and he does not care about the championship at all. You know, he could just sit at what I do. He always do like the James Allison and sit back. Could just sit back and watch, but I have a feeling Sutton might want to just try and nab the win here to take bragging rights at the end of the season.
Yeah, 100% Has Sutton is getting involved no matter what the championship situation is. Finley Cottenham takes the wider line. Look out for Has Sutton on his outside. He's ran it super wide at McLean's, and he's going to maybe find a pink GS68R on his inside. As they go through Coppice, the pressure is high, but not for Has Sutton, who looks to get involved in this race for the win and for the championship. Now, the 2 title rivals. The story all season long has been Henry versus Finley, and we're seeing it in the flesh right now. Through the S's, Henry leads them, but again that GS68R getting the speed out of the corner, the grunt and stability of the Suzuki, able to become king on the throttle. But now on the brakes, Henry's run it wide, and up the inside comes Finley. We're going to get treated to an absolutely cinematic finish if it carries on like this. Into Goddard we go. Finley's left the door wide open for Henry to cut on through. Has Sutton nearly goes into the back of him, but now Henry runs wide yet again on the exit, and now it's all about the slipstream once again down to Redgate. Where is the move available? It's right here for Finley. He's up the inside once again, but Henry's going to try and dart back to the inside. Oh, and the grass for Finley. Oh, dearie me, it's not going too well here because he's found Has Sutton on his inside. Has Sutton's going for the lead now. Here he comes, trying to find a way through the old hairpin. Still can't make it work. But right now, Henry is in a great spot to take the championship win, because it is seeming like Finley is losing all the time through mistakes.
Yeah, that's all we just saw with the past 2 races, and he just needs to be calm and just. Whoa! That's a big head shake. That is the one problem with the Suzuki. The front end can just fold at very random points off and on throttle, and just coming out there. And Henry will probably have noticed that. So now he can just, you think he can relax, but Has Sutton's not going to allow him to.
Yeah, exactly. We're waiting to see if Has Sutton can make the difference in this championship. A costly mistake for Finley Cottenham. But now, Has Sutton is going to be able to maybe make the difference, as here comes Has Sutton. He's going to go to the inside. That's a daring move. Is that going to get in Henry's way? No, it's not, because he's ran it wide. It's on the switchback. The ZX4 gets through, but they're side by side heading up to Goddard's. Finley is praying that this continues on like this, because Has Sutton's back through at the final corner. And sorry, I said Goddard's, it was the Melbourne Loop where the move happened previously, but there was the move once again at Goddard's as they now head down to Redgate with just 4 laps to go. It didn't go well for Alfie. He sat there watching this on, and they go through the first corner. Has Sutton is now leading this race. Does Henry need to push for this? You feel like he doesn't, but it looks like he wants to anyway. He's trying his best to catch the pink GS68R and fight for this win, and it's all the better for Finley Cottenham.
Yeah, Henry's now in the predicament where it's probably safer for him to just sit right behind Has Sutton. The problem he's got to work out if Finley can naturally catch him up. If he can't, just sit behind and finish second. But the mind does play tricks on you, so you might get, if you see that gap coming down, it might make you think that you're being held up a little bit, and if that's the case, you might have to be forced to make a move, and then that could cause you to lose more time. That's happened to me in Japan 23. But thankfully, I stay clear of Trust and won the race. I don't think Henry. I think just with the slipstream you get around the whole track, I just don't think it's possible to break away.
Yeah, I think that too. I'd have to agree, because Henry doesn't look like he's up finishing second at all, because the battle is going to continue. Finley's catching up. It's Has Sutton going to respond. This is the ultimate teammate performance as he darts up the inside in Melbourne hairpin. Once again, no way he's got it stopped. Yeah, no chance. He's got that 7/10 penalty, but he's riding a brilliant race for his teammate Finley Cottenham in third. Here they come into Goddard's. How can he respond to Henry McCartney, trying to use that exit speed of the G68R to get in the slipstream? Once again, Henry out on the curbs with just 3 laps left at the SPORTBIKE Cup. How can this help Finley Cottenham in the title showdown? Down into Redgate, it's looking like Henry trying to pull out some pace, and Has Sutton is pushing hard to try and close the gap and make the difference.
Using the slipstream down through Hollywood as we shift left into Craner curves. Ooh, and Henry getting onto the curbs there, thankfully. They nice and stable. Has going a bit deep. Oh, and Henry getting onto the edge of the curb. You do not be doing that. And he comes down the outside.
Yeah, he's got it done around the outside. That got really close between the two. And now Has Sutton leads once again, and Finley gets all the closer. Here we go then, up to Coppice, and Henry's back for the inside. It's getting dangerous now, Henry, because you've got Charlie joining the battle as well on the R7. 3 manufacturers in the top 4, and 2 of them at the front, fighting it out for the race win. And all the meanwhile, Finley Cottenham, the championship leader coming into this round, is catching up. Now, through Foggy S's, we have just 2 laps to go after this one, and Has Sutton has not given up yet, putting in the ultimate shift for his teammate as they come back again down to the Melbourne Loop, and Henry lets him on through. But in this time, Finley Cottenham is right on the rear end of Henry McCartney for the title. Here comes Henry up the inside again into Goddard's. The battle is sensational. We knew this was going to happen as we now come to 2 laps to go, and now they come across the line. Finley's in the slipstream. They're going to go 3 wide down to Redgate. How do you play this one, Jack? It's all about the pressure, but the adrenaline is flowing because Finley's back and he's up the inside into the lead.
It's just this lap. You've got to use this lap as your base. You should know anyway what at this point, all 3 riders are going to know where their bikes are strongest, where they're riding strongest and weakest. You've got to. To me, it's clear whoever leads out of Goddard's is going to win. Henry seems to be the strongest into Goddard's, necessarily not the strongest out. So it's going to come down to just positioning. I think you've got to position yourself right coming out of the Foggy S's. That's where it's going to be pivotal. You know.
That was close. Henry thought about a move up the inside. Has Sutton just caught his rear wheel. We're about to head to the last lap of the SPORTBIKE Cup. We're moving on to the R7 support class next year, and then the Superbike class as well, HF SPK. But I don't know if I want to say goodbye to this. But Henry not ready to say goodbye to the championship. He's up the inside of the Foggy S's, and it's a brilliant move from the Kawasaki ZX4 man. And here comes Finley to respond. They're about to go on to the last lap here at Donington Park. Finley just waiting as Has Sutton is desperate to find a way through to make a difference in this championship. It's been a story of Finley versus Henry, and now the story ends with 1 lap to go. It's not over yet. The decider comes down to this. The hype, the boosting, the post, the trailer, it was all worth it for this. The ZX4 leads us onto the straight, and now Finley gets in the slipstream and looks for a move. How do you go about this if you're Finley?
Just get in front and block, or I don't know, just make sure you lead out Melbourne Loop. That's all I've got to say. Make sure you lead out Melbourne Loop, defend for your life. But Finley's got to believe, Henry's got to believe. Whoever believes the most, whoever wants to win the most, will probably either win or crash trying. Down towards Hollywood, Craner's into the old hairpin. This is where Suzuki's going to get that advantage on the exit, but Henry's perfected the mid-corner speed, and he's pulled out that little bit. So it's all about Henry now. He's going to max his corner speed through McLean, through Coppice, defend, try and get the best for it out of the Foggy S's, try not to surrender track position, and then defend for his life from there. Finley, he's got to get in front, out on the exit of the Melbourne Loop, I'm convinced.
Yeah, you've got to also count in that Finley's got the 2/10 penalty, but he's getting in the slipstream now, trying to find the 2/10 gap. Look at Henry waving around in front of him. There's only one sector to go in the Sportbike Cup, and Finley's leaving it to the last possible moment to make the move, and he's got the perfect exit from Foggy Asses. It's going to be here into the Melbourne Loop. Is it going to be for the GSX-8R? Here he comes to the inside on the penultimate corner of the season. I'm struggling with my breath at the moment because this is so exciting. Finley alongside Henry. One last corner here in the Sportbike Cup. They touch, but Henry's got the inside. Finley around the outside. Surely not. Henry goes down and takes Finley out of the last corner. Unbelievable. Who's going to come through to win it? It's going to be Ross. Ross wins the Sportbike Cup. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. What a finish. What drama. All in the last corner to end with Ross Maguire with a broken wrist as the Sportbike Cup champion, Jack. What?
How did that happen?
What? Oh my word, Ross Maguire's done it. The Scot comes home for the title, and has Sutton wins his first race of the season. Wow, and that is it then. Ross Maguire is the champion. We're back from that celebratory moment for Ross Maguire. I cannot believe what I've just seen. That has to be the greatest title ending ever, to be honest. I can't even say it's got anywhere near as good as that, because we're all lost for words here. Henry's lost for words. So we're all lost for words, and no one can believe what just happened. That is just unbelievable, and we can't even begin to mention how crazy that was. We're gonna have to interview a few people in a moment. We're gonna start off though with the champion, who's going to join us in a minute. We have to get his words in. He can't believe it. He is just flabbergasted, surely, with that result, Jack, because for it to come down to that, to the last corner of the last lap, for Henry and Finley to collide, and then for it to be his in the end, I just cannot believe it. It's unbelievable. And unfortunately, Ross can't make it because he has to go really quickly. But that is heartbreaking that we can't get him in the call. But I'll tell you who we can get in the call is Henry and Finley, the two title rivals. So we thought, brought it down to the very last corner. Henry, we'll start with you. Me and Jack could not believe that. We were screaming at our screens. What an amazing, heroic battle you both put on. But in the end, it went the way of the man who had the broken wrist, who started the race in the worst way possible. What do you make of that? I'm sure you're gutted. Henry, you there? Oh, he's struggling with some microphones, or he smashed his phone to pieces. That's completely understandable, and we'll have to wait and see if he's rejoined. But the question can go both ways. Finley, we'll start with you then while we wait for Henry to rejoin. Finley, yeah, as I was saying, it was a titanic battle between you two until the very last corner for it all to go wrong. What do you make of that?
I have no words. Henry's an idiot.
Oh no. Bit of drama then going on in the Sportbike Cup, but nonetheless it's been a really good season for you, Henry, and on that last lap it was truly sensational. And well, you have to give it to Ross. He was in it to win it and brought it home in the end. But yeah, I honestly was in such heaven of commentating to the last corner. I can't even remember the ending of what happened between you two there. So were you on the inside or was Henry on the outside? Can you take us through that one?
that was like one of the
Yeah.
that was one of the worst finishes from my point of view, but probably the best for your point of view.
It
But
was sensational.
yeah, it just felt like I loaded the front too much into Goddard's and it just washed away from me. Like, I think me and Finley broke really late into there, just seeing who would break later, and I think I just loaded the front way too much.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. But there's hardly any words to put into it. I'm a professional commentator now, and I'm struggling so much to find anything to say to you guys. But yeah, Henry, it went a little bit wrong there. But Finley, we'll actually get a few more words out of you because your comeback was sensational. I mean, Has Sutton has just joined the call, and we'll speak to him in a moment because he did a master job to help you out in getting back to that fight. But from the point where you were in the gravel at McLean's to getting into the fight right to the last corner, it looked like it was going to be you winning it. I mean, that was some performance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gutted, but I did say that we did say it to each other before we did the race. Like, no one's gonna help each other out, teammates wise. So, Has Sutton didn't really help me out. He did help me out by battling with him because I know he would have probably got away. But yeah, I tried my hardest. I didn't want to crash at the same time, so.
Yeah, it was a great ride to stay in it. Of course, the pressure would have been mounting up, and then a couple more words out of you, Henry. How hard was Has Sutton making life for you on those last couple of laps?
Yeah, obviously it was hard with him battling with me, but I don't blame him. He was racing his own race, making his own moves, which I respect, and yeah, it was a good race to the last quarter.
Yeah, it certainly was, and well, congratulations to you guys on well, I suppose you didn't want to end it like this, but congratulations to you guys on making commentators completely speechless. It's an achievement that some people can add to their Instagram bios. But joining the call now, in fact, is Has Sutton. Congratulations on your first win of the season, Has, if you just want to get a word. You played the ultimate devil in that fight for the win, and you did a great job of it. You didn't really create any drama. You weren't the one who made you made the difference, but not in way of taking people out, pushing them off the track. It was the perfectly structured race to be clean, aggressive, a balance of those two, and take home the win amidst all of the drama. How was that one?
Oh, it was meant to be fair. I didn't want to let Henry get away because he's about a second a lap quicker than me. So I thought if I just dive bomb him a few times, keep him there. But then I didn't actually think I'd win because Henry and Finley smashed each other at the last corner. Yeah. And I got quite a big penalty as well at the start of the race. I got hit off the track and had to cut. So I'm happy to win.
Yeah, it was a great ride, and the battle all the way through between you and Henry, and then Finley and Henry, it was fantastic. So thank you very much to all of you for joining the call there for some interviews. It was devastating not to be able to talk to now the new champion Ross Maguire in the end. He's had to run off to pick up his gran, possibly for some celebrations after winning the title. So we'll have to get some words with him later, and keep your eyes peeled because that'll 100% be on Instagram. But yeah, from all of us here at the Sport Bike Cup, thank you very much for joining us for that cinematic, dramatic, and chaotic final round as the trailer, understandably and perfectly hyped up. It went just as we had hoped in terms of the drama and amazing racing. Maybe not for Henry and Finley, but yeah, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for joining us all the way through the season. Your company has progressed this championship through all sorts of rider counts and viewer counts and all things, the hype around the championship as a whole. But make sure you join us next season for the HF SBK Championship, the R7 Support Cup, and that's about it. Make sure you watch that one back, send it to your friends because that was truly unbelievable, and keep your eye on the Instagram because there'll be some words from